I wasn't ready to start the show, and then I was ready to start the show, and I forgot to unmute myself. Hi, guys. How are you? Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I got distracted. I got distracted in right before the show. I was scrolling Twitter as I normally do, and a story popped up, and it's just the most wonderfully disturbing story I've read in a while. No Monk Avatar. It should be on the screen. It's on my screen. Okay. Why are you guys not seeing it? Here, let's change it to that. And can you guys see it now? Can you see the new avatar? Just changed it. Here, let me do this. What about now? This is going to be a weird one if you can't see me. Okay, you can see that guy. It's not Halloween, though, so I don't want to... you guys want to go old school monkey? We'll be Raphael tonight. Or, yeah, it's Ralph. What's up, Jack?
How's it going?
Be better if I remembered to plug my headphones into the right jack. Hang on.
You said.
There we go. I'm okay, dude. I'm decent. I was just getting ready to tell the audience about this story that I read right before we went live. Sorry, they also confused me because my avatar wasn't showing up. Now I got that all fixed. And all right. So Jack, we aren't fans of illegal immigrants around here.
Not really, no.
No. You want to hear a heartwarming story?
If it's the one I'm thinking it is, then yes. Yes, I do.
The gas station one?
Oh, no.
Oh. Gas station robbery that ended with bystander killing suspect was staged as part of a FISA scheme.
Oh, I did see this. Yeah. Yeah, I actually have this one on deck. I was going to put it in the queue.
These fucking idiots got themselves killed. Or at least one of them. One of them gets shot in the fucking head.
And I'm okay with that.
Me too. I mean, these are criminals who are being even more criminal.
Well,
so,
there's something about Darwinism.
There's a scam, or a we'll just call it a scam. There's a program in the U.S. where if you help the police and you're illegal, you can get a non-immigrant visa. Basically become a snitch for them, right? And they give you a visa for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this couple of idiots get together and they decide what we're going to do is stage a robbery at a gas station. And so this couple pulls up to the gas pump that you see right there on the screen. And this guy runs up with a gun pulled on him and takes their wallet and their purse and runs off. And a bystander happened to be there, pulls out a gun and shoots the guy in the head. And it's at that point that they're like, but it's all staged. Wait, this is fake. And the best part of the story, though, is not even this. It's at the end, Jack, where the police, after they're told that this is all fake, they started to notice a pattern of very similar things going on in the area.
Weird that.
Yeah, the shooter later identified as Jesus. He's doing God's work.
Yeah, it's not Jesus.
Initially fled before handing himself in and telling cops he opened fire because he feared for his life as well as those of the pair that he thought were being attacked and held up at gunpoint. I mean, I don't know that if the guy's running away, you should really have shot him.
No, I'm okay with it.
I mean, it worked out in this case, but he wasn't really posing a danger to anyone else. So I hope this guy doesn't go to jail, though.
Oh, I hope not too.
He was reacting in the situation. It's not like he was just out to murder somebody.
Yeah, he was trying to act in the defense of others. So,
yeah.
I would say we should give him a medal for easing the immigrant problem.
I agree. I mean, that's one less case that has to be heard through the court system.
Yeah, this man's a hero.
Police said Jesus was not involved in the fake robbery and he was released. No decision was immediately available about possible charges. it'll depend on how big this story blows up, whether they'll press charges. Because wasn't this in Houston?
I mean, do you really think this was a good idea to do in Texas?
Well, I mean, if you did it in certain places, you did in Austin, they'd give you an award for finding a way to get illegals to be here legally.
Yeah, I mean, still, I mean, this is how you know they're not sending their best.
Yeah. I want to say it was in Houston, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, yeah, Houston, right there. Gas station in Houston. I just read that story right before we went live, and I was laughing too hard, and I wasn't paying attention, and forgot to unmute myself when I started the show.
Nice.
I couldn't help it, man. That's funny to me. I know we're not supposed to laugh at, people dying and stuff, but you kind of brought that one on yourself.
It always depends on who's dying.
Look, I'm not happy the guy died for that dumbass crime.
Well, I'm not unhappy about it either.
Yeah,
I'm fairly indifferent.
It's the same thing as when I read Darwin Awards and I laugh at it. I'm not happy the person died, but I mean, come on, you kind of did it to yourself.
Yeah.
Keldrig, thank you. Jesus was just helping a down on his luck foreigner immigrate to heaven. Indeed.
That's true.
Like I said, God's work. He was doing God's work.
Yeah, see, he was just soul advancement personnel.
Oh, son of a bitch. Jack, of all the stories that I brought up, because I have many of them ready to go, I forgot to bring up the one about Sheila Jackson Lee.
Oh, that's
you saw Sheila today, right?
I sent that to you, didn't
I? Did you? Yeah, and it's actually from yesterday. I need to make sure that'll make it very easy to find if you're the one who sent it to me. Yes, you did. I love you.
I know. I'm awesome.
I'm gonna make love to your manly self.
Well, I'm pretty sexy. If you like fat middle-aged dudes.
Oh, you're talking my language. I'm getting a boner. All right. Sheila Jackson Lee. We've talked about this tard many, many times, and often it's she's being tardy, and I don't mean late somewhere. I don't mean she's on black people time. I mean she is retarded. And this one, what's that? I'm sorry, it broke up just a little bit.
What? Damn it! What?
Hello?
What?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? I'm
good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Let's talk about Tardy Lee here. Now, I don't know how the audio is going to come through because this is a cell phone recording outside, but we're going to put up with it.
So that you have the...
Holy shit.
Huh?
Wow. Sorry about that. We're going to turn that down. Fuck.
Energy of the moon.
Is that better?
A little bit, but you'll have to rewind it.
Yeah, we will. I just want to get the audio right before we back it up.
Night.
That's all right?
And
yeah, it's fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, it about blew my eardrums out. All right, here we go.
So that you have the energy of the moon at night. And sometimes you've heard the word full moon. And sometimes you need to take the opportunity just to come out and see a full moon is that complete rounded circle.
Are the people she's talking to so retarded they don't know what a full moon is?
I mean, you went to see Sheila Jackson Lee.
The full moon, that's when it's rounded, and you should sometimes come out and take a look at the full rounded moon. Yeah, I just want to point out that she's saying this in relation to a fucking eclipse because she's talking about the eclipse right now.
Yeah, as opposed to a boxy moon, which is a lot more rare, or a diamond moon.
Okay. Oh yes, Mr. E, it gets much, much better.
Oh,
this is
so
not
much better.
This isn't the dumb part yet. This is just, dear Lord, why do you have to explain what a full moon is? Unless you're talking to children? I mean, then I could understand it, but all right. So now that we're all on board with what a full moon is,
which is made up mostly of gases.
We got to rewind a little bit because when I paused, we were talking about the moon.
Oh yeah.
The word full moon. Sometimes you need to take the opportunity just to come out and see a full moon is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases.
gases. Check.
The
Wait.
full moon is mostly made up of gases.
Yeah, see, it starts out as a crescent moon. That's actually a flattened moon. And as it collects gases, it slowly inflates to become a ball. I mean, a circle. It is actually a giant ball in the sky hanging in the firmament.
Now, I wanted to point this part out and pause here because she came out with a response because people were making fun of her for this.
And
she says, obviously, I was talking about the sun.
Yeah, because that it makes total sense now. No, that's not at all what she was saying.
Hasn't even mentioned the sun in this part, and she goes on to say this,
and that's why the question is why or how could we as humans live on the moon?
Yeah, you know, when we live on the sun. Yeah. She heard that song, might as well be walking on the sun.
The moon is primarily made up of gases, and that's why it brings up the question of how can man live on the moon? Not one part of that has anything to do with the sun.
No, that's why her response is fucking retarded. But I think she's specifically referring to the man in the moon.
Is he mostly gases? Does he eat a lot of Taco Bell?
I think he has a lot of farting going on.
It's all that cheese, right?
Well, he's inflating the moon, see, because it's primarily gases.
Where is her response? I want to find that.
It's filed under.
Because I want to bring this on the screen so y'all can see. We played that part. We'll finish the video here in a second, but her response to this is like, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes, or in this case, ears? Obviously, I misspoke and meant to say the sun, but as usual, Republicans are focused on stupid things. Well, I mean, that part is true. We are.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
and not just not Republicans. We're concentrating on stupid things here. That the thing just happens to be Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yeah.
Instead of stuff that really matters, what can I say though? Foolish thinkers lust for stupidity.
Ooh, sweet for stupidity.
Sweet irony.
Yeah.
Foolish thinkers.
So, you all want a banger. That's what I heard.
Bitch, you just came out and said the moon is made of gas and we're foolish thinkers.
Lusting after her.
Lusting after stupid things.
The gas is such that we could do that.
Just for the record, the Earth's atmosphere is made up entirely of gases.
Yeah, the atmosphere is, but that's. I think she was thinking of Jupiter.
Maybe.
But she's really dumb, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's made up of mostly gases. So does she think there's just like a tiny ball inside the moon and there were gases around it that gave it the... I'm really not sure what she was going for here other than failing science in third grade.
Right? I'm pretty sure she really does think that it inflates and deflates. That's why it looks the way it does.
The sun is a mighty powerful heat.
That might be my favorite line I've heard in a decade. The sun is a mighty powerful heat.
It's true. Oh, she is so stupid and quotable. It's so sad. If she ever made babies with that other retard,
Hank Johnson,
we would all be in a lot of trouble. Thankfully, they're both really old.
I think it would actually be the de-evolution of man if those two had a baby.
Yeah,
because they're retarded. One thinks islands can flip over, and the other one thinks the moon is made out of gases.
Well, it hangs in the firmament, so it, of course, deflates and inflates.
It's almost impossible to go near the sun.
With current technology, it's impossible to go near the sun. I guess near is relative.
Oh, I thought she said move the sun.
No, to go near it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose, but because I misunderstood. I thought she said try and move it. So I was like, why would we do that? It already moves on its own.
Let's go let's go with her retelling of this, that when she said that about the gases, that she was talking about the sun. In that case, the conversation, instead of can we live on the moon because it's made of gases, it becomes can we live on the sun?
Yes. Why can't we? Is it racist?
It's almost impossible to go near the sun. There's no way that this is intelligent.
Nope. She's pretty dumb.
I heard that might as well be walking on the sun lyric, and I thought, why can't we? And then I heard it was really hot. This woman gets to vote on the laws we have to live by. What? How is she still in Congress? This is why I tell you it doesn't matter whether or not we have term limits, because this retard would just be replaced by some other retard because it's the people voting her into office that's the issue, not that she's a retard.
Yeah.
All you'd have is a newer retard. This is not like the first dumb thing this woman has ever said. The Hank Johnson clip we've watched is from what, almost a decade ago? And he gets elected every 2 years.
It's sad, really.
Oh, she got a little more to say.
The moon is more manageable. And you will see in a moment, or not a moment, you'll see in a couple of years that NASA is going back to the moon.
I'm sure she had a point, but for the life of me, I can't even guess what it is.
I don't either. We just need to go to the sun at night. That's true, Evolved. QS, is this the same woman that said AR-15 weighs as much, the same as heavy boxes?
I want to say yes. Look, this woman has said a lot of really stupid things.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep up. Real quick, though. Thank you, Frosted Glass. What are stars, Sheila Jackson Lee? They're fireflies. Fireflies caught the big bluish black thing. Yeah, the firmament.
Now,
space fireflies.
Just so I can laugh at it again, we are going to watch Miss Jackson Lee. She finishes her speech, Jack, and she's going to watch the eclipse. And, well, let's just watch. She can put on her glasses. She can put on her glasses. Get them. I'm going to put on my... I'm going to spoil this and just tell you, for a full minute, she can't get her little glasses on.
All right, now to be fair, I had a hell of a time getting those things on too, because I have a big lumpy Irish head, or Scottish, depending on which ancestry you talk about. I don't know what her excuse is.
I'm going to turn off the sound there. Did you at least have them on your eyes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could hold them up if nothing else. But they just won't. They're too short, so they won't hook over my ears. So I just interlaced them with my glasses, my regular glasses.
She just can't get them on. And they're clearly going past her ear.
Well,
and now she's got them way off to the side.
It looks like she didn't fold it on the sides like you're supposed to.
Just watch this part right here. This one is so far off her eye that when she turns around, if it wasn't the special thing, you could see through it.
Yeah.
It's up on the side of her fucking head.
Yeah, you're supposed to bend them just like so they look like regular glasses. There's a crease on the sides. It doesn't look like she did that.
This woman gets to make decisions for the whole country.
If things go to hell and a bunch of people are killed, she could be the president. I'm just saying.
This is like watching the video of that chimp playing with a loaded pistol. Yeah. It's a good thing that wasn't a gun. She'd have shot herself.
Now, I want to see that image of her trying to fight with that thing superimposed with Biden shaking hands with a ghost.
It's depressing that these are our leaders. She is one of 435 votes in the House. That represents the 330 million of us. But don't worry, guys. You like the stupid, and she's not really stupid. She was talking about living on the sun, I guess. Sheila Jackson Lee, ladies and gentlemen.
We live in weird times, man.
But
This is
we're
white privilege.
It is. It absolutely is. We're going to stick with Congress, though, Jack, because something much more important is going on. They're debating re-upping the FISA system, the FISA
and it'll
program.
probably pass now. Just see the addendum. Oh, you did. It's in the title.
That is why we're talking about it. Look, we're not fans of the FISA courts here to begin with. I watched a little bit. Massey, this is from Thomas Massey's Twitter.
Yeah.
He said he was going to put up the video of him questioning the chairman about this exception. And he hadn't put it up yet, so I went and watched a little bit of it. Not enough to comment very well. But there's one moment where I forget which of the chairman it is, because they have Jordan up there. They have Nadler up there. So this is Senate and House that they were talking to. This is in front of the Rules Committee. And one of them stops and points out, hey. Even without this, and we'll get to what this is in a minute, but he says, even without this, the FBI still needs to get a warrant in order to surveil you.
No, they don't. That's the whole point.
Well, I mean, technically under the FISA program, they do. The issue is that they do things like lie, like we saw in the Carter Page thing.
Yeah.
And that guy got a slap on the hand for lying to a federal court so they could illegally monitor somebody's stuff. So you can tell me you need to get a warrant all you fucking want, but when your warrant system is all fucked up too, that doesn't help anything. When judges are rubber stamping this shit.
Yeah, that's not getting a warrant, because that's just being handed a warrant.
Yeah.
They're just getting like whatever they want for free. This is ridiculous.
Now, the FISA system is supposed to be so that they can go, okay, we know this foreigner is a bad dude and he keeps calling Joe Bob Smith down there in Arkansas. We need to be able to listen to Joe Bob Smith because we're pretty sure he's in cahoots with this asshole doing illegal things. And they're supposed to have proof for that, to go, look, we caught them talking about this, and we need a wiretap to be able to listen to all that they say. That's what it's supposed to be. That because of their intercepting of an American having these discussions with a foreigner, going to the court and getting permission to listen to what that American is saying. What it's actually become is just a political tool, like all of our laws do, Jack.
Yeah.
But Congress is, they're getting some pushback, and some of them were finally starting to go, maybe with what we saw happen to Trump and Carter Page, maybe we shouldn't support this program.
That just means they're holding out for a little extra bribe.
I hear you, but there's a compromise, Jack. Oh, wait, is this the wrong? Oh, yeah, I have it blown up over there. There we go.
There's the bribe.
Congress is writing in a new rule to the FISA court that if a member of Congress ends up in a warrant for the FISA program, that the member, as well as the chairs and ranking members of different committees, have to be notified.
Oh, yeah. See, that makes it okay then. Then they'll vote for it, because fuck the plebs. The nobility get exceptions because some animals are more equal than others.
Can we just point out that what this is saying is that if, let's say the FISA court works properly and they're trying to stop terrorism, because that's their bullshit narrative for why they did this. What they're saying is, if a member of Congress is suspected of colluding with a terrorist, you have to tell that member before you go get a secret warrant to tap their phones.
Which makes zero sense. Although I'm sure Swalwell would appreciate that.
Oh, Swalwell would love it. We call it the Ling Ling rule.
Fang Fang.
I was just going with something that sounded vaguely Asian. I never remember that woman's name. And that's not racist. If it was the Russian spies, I would have come up with Natalia or something vaguely Russian. I'm just saying. But yeah, this is literally like, okay, look, if you guys are going to spy on us, you got to tell us you're spying on us. One, how does that make any goddamn sense? And two, why do you get that carve out? Why do you get to know that you're being totally legally recorded?
Yeah. No Fourth Amendment violation as long as Congress okays it.
I mean, Jack, all right. Theoretically, let's go back to the 1990s, right? You're an FBI agent tasked with bringing down John Gotti.
Uh-huh.
And you get a warrant to place bugs all over his business and his phones. Do you go to John Gotti and go, hey, we're recording everything you say? Or do you think that would make him, be a lot more secretive about it?
I think it would probably make him a little bit more gun shy about what he had to say. But that this whole thing shouldn't be renewed anyway because it's such a constitutional violation. But they don't give a fuck because it doesn't affect them this way because it's only for the plebs. It's seriously, revolutions have been fought over way less shit than what they're pulling these days.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm just dumbfounded that they don't see the obvious flaw in this. If you do believe in the FISA bullshit.
They don't. They just want to spy on Americans.
Yeah, true.
That's it. The feds and the Congress do not give a fuck about your civil liberties. They only care about themselves. They're better than you.
And if you had any questions about that, this proves it.
Yep.
This literally nullifies the need for it. Just start telling everybody you're recording them all the time and can use it and people will be much, much more clear about what they're saying on phones. They'd be like, yeah, I can't talk about that, Tommy. I gotta go see Jimmy the Nose. You know what I mean? It would all be done in person.
Yeah.
You would avoid your phones and avoid emails. I still don't understand why people do this shit online.
They're really dumb and lazy. I think it's mostly laziness, but there's a lot of dumb people too. Oh, they'll never check into me. Okay, idiot.
Is the Patriot Act mentioned in this? No, because it's not. This isn't the Patriot Act. This is, it kind of went along with it, but the Patriot Act was a separate entity. This might have even been passed with it at the time. But they've kept this one where the Patriot Act is basically let go. This was kept because we're in danger and we have to spy on you Americans for reasons.
Filthy American scum. Don't you work for the government? Yeah, that's how I know you're scum. Ugh, you filthy citizen pleb. Ugh.
Yeah, so in this, the Intelligence Committee, the Speaker of the House, the minority ranking member in both the House and Senate, and the leader of the Senate all get told, as well as the subject of the warrant. In that case, why don't we just notify everybody? You
shut up.
It's two different systems. They're better than we are.
Yeah, absolutely. This is creating a two-tier system. And they don't give a shit. They do not care about you.
Thank you, Travis Gardner. Oklahoma has rules like that where the legislators can't be searched or have police enter their offices without permission of the president of the Senate. Several have gotten away with things because the police could never look through offices. I hear what you're saying there, but I kind of get the notion behind that, so it can't be used as a political tool, because we've seen people do that with state police too.
Yeah,
where they target the opponents of whoever the sitting governor is. So I understand. This is even different though, in that we're talking about a wiretap. We're talking about listening into phone calls, Jack.
Yep.
You don't have to invade anybody's living space for that. I think that rule is dumb. That hey, if you can get a search warrant for my office, you should be able to for your congressman. But again, at least in that case, I understand the thinking behind it. This just makes no goddamn sense.
This creates an elite class that
It
are above,
does.
technically above a law.
And when Massey tweeted this out, he said, this will probably make a lot of lawmakers vote for it. And it probably will.
Yep.
It's funny when Massey is questioning the people involved here. He asked them, has the FISA system ever been abused? Has it ever been used against people for like looking in on a girlfriend? And it's Jim Jordan who points out, yeah, it's been used against people running for Congress. Yeah, that's a reason to get rid of the system, not to make a carve out for the people in Congress.
Yeah,
it's a corrupt system.
Absolutely, and it should be totally unconstitutional on its face. But here we are. We live in a really pathetic, evil time where there is no real justice anymore.
Hey, they have to provide for our general welfare.
By general welfare, they mean you better be willing to be spied on, you fucking monster.
Speaking of general welfare, let's kind of stay on welfare, general welfare, not like handouts from the government, but well-being. Talk about a woman who lost her ass, Jack.
Yes, I saw this.
Comedian has buttocks amputated after cheeks turned to stone mid-flight on way home from dodgy surgery.
Yeah, like happens.
See, women can be funny. I found this story to be hilarious.
It's sad, but hilarious at the same time.
She didn't die.
Yeah, but she lost her only real asset because she's not funny.
Oh, she got big old boobies. Look at that. I mean, that's clearly a touched photo, but I mean, she got boobies and a little waist, and she's cute with enough makeup on. A comedian has been forced to have most of her butt amputated. I didn't even realize ass amputation was a thing. I mean, it makes sense if there's muscle there, technically being an amputation.
Yeah.
She got her ass cut off.
She literally lost her ass in that flight.
She literally lost her ass. She had most of her butt amputated after her cheeks turned rock hard mid-flight on her way home. Homer is actually what it says H-O-M-R. Somebody did not spell check.
No, they did not. I caught that as well.
The Mexican performer Yared Lacona, who's known to her 2 million Instagram followers as Wanderer's Love, says polymer injected into her ass. I'm going to keep saying ass instead of rear end because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Into her ass without her knowledge went on to solidify on a plane to Canada. So here's what I'm thinking, Jack. Maybe it's not the ass injection. Maybe her butt was just rejecting Canada.
Yeah. Or the material was Canadian and wanted to stay in its homeland.
Perhaps. She was visiting her daughter when she started to notice her rear was feeling strange. Speaking to local media, she said, "I was flying to Canada and started feeling something was wrong on the plane." That has different meanings to her and me because feeling something was wrong on the plane, be like, ooh, the wing just flew off. Not my ass is solidifying. Which is what happened to this poor woman. It started to hurt, and I went to the bathroom, and I felt my bum, and it was really hard. Been there, lady. I thought to myself, what's going on? Later on, medics found that polymers injected into her ass during a cosmetic procedure had leaked, infecting the tissue. She was told that she was experiencing a strange condition called ASIA syndrome. ASIA syndrome? I don't know how you say that. It stands for autoimmune inflammatory syndrome induced by adjuvants. All right, sure. An Israeli immunologist. The damn Jews did it.
Uh-oh.
The Jews, you ruined a Mexican woman's ass. How dare you? Man, Jack, the Jews ruin everything. Victims can experience symptoms including pain, fatigue, cognitive problems, neurological issues, and a range of other ailments. I don't care about the rest of it. But they claim that this can be triggered by silicone. It's one of the most notable ones. Now, you please understand, guys, that when it comes to silicone, 99.9% of people will have no issue with it. But there's a very rare condition, this one here, where your body's like, nah, bro, you shouldn't have that in there. And that's how they sued all of those titty makers back in the 80s and 90s. Because a couple of people had a real condition. They're like, all fake titties are bad. Let's put water in there instead. I don't really have an issue with women who want to get bigger boobies. I don't personally care for it, but what happened with the silicone industry over that was largely nonsense. Most of the ones you saw is like, well, what happened? Well, what happened was I went to Guatemala to get $30 breast implants, and yeah, totally silicone was the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the issue. She said that the only thing she knew for sure was that she had never agreed to such an operation. Sweetie, I know women, okay? And I'm fairly certain women will not let you put it in their ass without, objecting if you didn't get permission.
Yeah, technically.
You went there for an ass implant. Let's just be honest about what happened here. She tries to play it off like she was there for a boob enhancement or maybe some liposuction, and they slipped silicone into her ass when she wasn't paying attention.
Oh, it was a BOGO day.
I didn't even realize they were putting it in my butt. I don't believe you, lady. They amputated just the upper part, which was around 4 fingers width from both buttocks. Damn.
That's a lot of cheek.
She lost a lot of butt. Does she have a shelf now? Like
one of those weird, divot, like a golf sand trap.
One of those weird shelf asses that you see on some people. Those people who are like really fat on the bottom, but like normal up top.
Yeah, maybe.
Will you talk for just a minute?
Yeah, she is little in the middle and got less back, so I guess that's a thing. Oh, thanks for dropping links, guys. Hit the like button, share it on your social media, subscribe if you haven't, and if you're feeling generous, you can toss us a couple bucks at the Streamlabs links going through the chat, pinned at the top of the YouTube chat, and in the description of both YouTube and Rumble. I don't even like fake boobs. I don't either. I mean, the newer ones are a little better looking, but just not a boob person. The old whoops wrong hole trick, right?
Oh my.
You all right?
Yeah, just sinuses and draining down my throat, and I started coughing and couldn't stop. I was listening to Sin today, and he's having a very similar problem with his sinuses.
Yeah, it's that time of year. And
that time of year.
Weather bouncing.
But yeah, so imagine my surprise. I went for a dream body and ended up in a medical nightmare. Accept yourself how you are. If you don't like your ass, work it out. This happened because you're vain.
And probably lazy. Yeah, some people just can't handle that they aren't how they should look. They think they should look. You know what? Get over it. You're never going to be the ideal perfection.
Did it ever say where she went to have this done? She's a Mexican performer, so I'm imagining this wasn't done in a United States hospital because it doesn't say anything about her suing anyone.
No.
How much you want to bet she went to Guadalajara and got anal injected down there with Mexican collagen?
Oh man. I don't know why people would do that.
Anyway, Missouri
Carpenter. Hey, if she had split that sandwich with Mama Cass, they'd both be alive.
That's true. That bitch need to learn to eat. One who can't stop.
That's probably a wildly inappropriate joke for multiple reasons. But yeah, Karen Carpenter was a real tragic loss. That woman was talented.
Buddy cop movie with an actual anorexic. Eugenia Cooney teams up with Tess Holliday in a buddy cop movie.
Oh,
I would watch the fuck out of that.
That would be pretty fun. Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. Monkey is being throat fucked by pollen. Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, I am. And it sucks. Tim Pool went to Mexico for some kind of surgery. It's probably why he's bald.
Was he attempting to remove his beanie?
He was having a beanie-ectomy. Oh, fuck.
It didn't take.
I was watching Sin because he was talking about the Tim Pool video that we covered.
Yeah.
And yeah, me and Sin are pretty much in lockstep on everything on that one.
Yeah, I noticed that. I caught the last 15 minutes or so of it.
Yeah, I sent him the video of Ari going over Sean, the actual Justice Warrior, over his video. I don't know if he's going to use it in the future, but I'm like, dude, you have to see her take on this. It's as bad as everything you see there.
Wow.
Anyway, Missouri death row inmate Brian Dorsey executed 18 years after killing his cousin and her husband. Deeply, overwhelmingly sorry.
Oh, we're too bad.
They were worried because he's a huge fat ass with diabetes that they wouldn't be able to get the tubes in to do lethal injection, and that they were going to have to actually cut into him to be able to do it. Thankfully, Jack, it went off without a hitch.
Oh, well, I wouldn't have cared either way.
So they give him the phenobarbital or whatever the fuck they use, and he breathes a few times heavy, and then he starts breathing shallow. He sits up and looks at everybody and then just dies. Aw.
Sounds like they should bring back old Sparky.
You want to hear what he did? Anybody want to hear what this poor lost soul did to deserve this?
Oh, he was repentant, Monkey, so it doesn't matter. Never look into the left's heroes.
His lawyers describe this as one violent crime. So he owed drug dealers a bunch of money, and he goes to his female cousin's house and can I please have some money? And get the fuck out. So later that night, he came back when they were sleeping and shot them both and then raped his dead cousin, leaving their 3-year-old daughter alone in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he, you guys, old Spark? No. I want this motherfucker drawn and quartered.
Yep.
That's cruel and unusual. So is raping your dead cousin.
Sick weirdo.
Yeah. And you had people out there, death penalty's wrong. He admitted to this, Jack. He turned himself in. There's no question he did it.
Yeah. This is the type of bullshit that makes me very pro lethal injection.
Mm-hmm.
Or I prefer hanging or electrocution, but I'm old school like that.
If we're gonna hang him, we need to do it old school British style, where they just slowly lift you up.
They let you kick around for a while.
Yeah, and then draw and quarter him.
Some people deserve it. And look, a lot of people say, "Well, it doesn't disincentivize crime." Sure, it did. This guy's dead, isn't he? He won't ever commit a crime again.
I don't care if it disincentivizes crime. I really don't. That has never been my reason for supporting the death penalty. My qualms about the death penalty only come in whether or not we know for certain somebody did it. If there is any real doubt, then I don't think we should use it. In a case like this where the motherfucker admitted to it, fuck him. He got to live 18 years longer than his dead raped cousin. Fuck him. It's another one of those ones where I hope I'm wrong about religion, Jack. I hope that dude suffers for eternity. But don't worry, he did say sorry to the families before he died.
That makes it all better. That's restorative justice. Yeah, firing squad, hanging, electric chair. I'm okay with the classics,
I'm okay with the classics if we're talking about dipping them in boiling oil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, save that for the peds. You got to have special occasions.
7 hours before his execution, Jack, he had his final meal. You ready for this? This is the guy with diabetes.
Yeah.
He had 2 cheeseburgers, 2 orders of chicken strips, 2 large orders of French fries, a pizza with sausage, pepperoni, onion, mushroom, and extra cheese. I don't understand why we give people a last meal like that. They should just get whatever's on the menu.
Actually, did you know that the majority of people that get a last meal don't usually eat it?
I imagine it'd be kind of hard to eat knowing you're about to die.
Yeah, I know. So it's really kind of a kick in the dick. Like, you get the food and you're like, oh, I gotta have this awesome meal, and then you don't eat it because you're like, I'm gonna die. So it is kind of a hilarious side effect, I think. But no, I pulled it actually there. I admit it. I don't really care about the last meal thing. I just want the scum of the earth to perish from it.
I want people like him to die because what he did was fucking horrific. And especially when you get to the part, the way that the bodies were found is the grandmother of the little girl came over the next day just to check in on her daughter, see how she's doing, and found the little girl there who said to her, "Mommy won't wake up." When I heard that, I wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Personally. We can't find anybody to pull the switch. I'm not busy.
Yeah, I'll volunteer for that job. I wouldn't even lose any sleep. How do you sleep with yourself? With the comfort of knowing one less evil being is floating around this world.
Yep. Well, I know that fucker's dead. It helps me sleep at night. Why does that upset you?
A healthy sense of justice is something I could take and get sleepy with. It's fine.
And look, I understand people who couldn't do it. Because you're not really meant to kill people. It's a biological thing with us.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see him as people.
No, that some people don't have souls. I'm convinced of that.
Speaking of not having souls, it's wonderful how we get these segues sometimes.
That's because we're pretty awesome. It's in the script.
Judge calls out blatant double standard when it comes to Biden's Justice Department and Hunter.
No, what? Oh,
go ahead.
Real quick before we get into this. Thank you, Travis Gardner. We brought back the electric chair. That's awful. Why? It's solar. We're going green.
There you go. We'll do it solar powered and on a day that's not really sunny, Jack, so it's nice and slow.
Oh, I think we should have all the other death row inmates and some of the maximum security guys on treadmills, and they're powering it.
Yeah, like hamsters on a wheel.
Yeah. So they get to, then they can hear the whole thing, so that knowing that they're going to be one of the next ones.
All right.
Anyway, sorry about that. Thank you, Travis.
No. Yeah, and guys, remember, brought to you by you, like button, share button. If you would, please consider donating to Jack or myself. Are you kidding me? Those are 4 words that no lawyer wants to hear from a judge in a hearing, but that was not the least of it for the Justice Department lawyers fighting House subpoenas into the Biden corruption scandal. U.S. District Judge Anna Reyes slammed the DOJ for stonewalling Congress on the subpoenas while imprisoning figures like former Trump advisor Peter Navarro for doing the same thing. Remember, Navarro's in prison for 4 months for refusing a congressional subpoena. And the Justice Department, who prosecuted him for that, is in front of a judge arguing that they should be allowed to ignore a subpoena.
Yes. Well, because the rules are different. Let's face it, Hunter Biden is a special person. His dad is president and was a senator for decades. So that makes him an elite, a special. Whereas Peter Navarro, who the fuck is that guy? He's a nobody. He's just another pleb that is not immune to the rules, not like our sophisticated brethren.
The Biden administration has blocked the testimony of prosecutor Mark Daley and Jack Morgan, who were involved in the inexplicable decision of the Justice Department to allow major felonies against Hunter Biden to lapse. Whoopsie. In prior hearings, IRS whistleblowers testified that they had an agreement on the table to extend the statute of limitations on the crimes, but special counsel David Weiss allowed the period to lapse without any explanation. Since the DOJ was in the midst of plea negotiations, it made no sense that the DOJ would simply kill the potential charges. It goes on to explain to us about the plea deal and how it was rejected by a judge, and then Hunter rejected what was basically the same deal from the Justice Department.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's this. Yet even in that, after that meltdown, the DOJ admits it tried to restore most of the agreement, but Hunter wouldn't go along with it. The DOJ was in a bizarre position. Its effort to give Hunter a sweetheart deal, or at the least most of the original deal, could not occur because the beneficiary wanted it all. It had little choice but to charge him with tax and gun crimes. Yeah, Hunter really forced their hand on what the charges were, because if he would have taken the secondary deal, which just makes it so that he wasn't immune from all future prosecution, this would be over by now. He'd got a slap on the hand for it. And his dumb ass was like, no, my daddy's president. I don't have to do that. And what they want is to talk to the prosecutors who were involved in all of these decisions. That's what Congress is looking for. They want Daley, and I forget the other dude's name, to come before them and just answer questions about what they did and why.
Yeah, and the balls of Hunter's legal team to go to the White House like the day he was supposed to go testify and have some secret meeting shit. They're not even trying to hide any of this stuff.
Dude, that led to the House subpoenas. The only way for the House to investigate such corrupt special dealings is to interview the principal actors, including these two attorneys. Otherwise, as Democratic members have done, critics can insist that they have no direct evidence of wrongdoing. Yeah, it's amazing how you can insist that when you refuse to get the evidence. It appears that confusion expressed by many of us is shared by the judge. Reyes noted the obvious, quote, "There is a person in jail right now because you all brought a criminal lawsuit against him because he did not appear for a House subpoena. I think it's rich that you guys pursue criminal investigations and put people in jail for not showing up. And now you guys are flouting those subpoenas. And you don't have to show up." Reyes noted that the DOJ lawyers were making a bunch, this is also a quote, making a bunch of arguments that they would never accept from any other litigant. I imagine that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of defense attorneys who would be happy to hear that the DOJ's position is, if you don't agree with the subpoena, if you believe it's unconstitutional or unlawful, you can unilaterally not show up. I wonder how many people who have had to face this are looking at what DOJ is saying in this case and rethinking their criminal defense.
Yeah.
The Justice Department insisted that it's different. Of course it is.
Yeah, because he's special.
When its own prosecutors refused to testify, and noted that the House had also refused a demand to have the other Justice Department lawyers present for the deposition. You don't get to decide this. There's a subpoena. You don't get to go, I'm not coming in unless the other guy comes with me. Because we're not talking about them having their own lawyers there. We're talking about them showing up. They can have their own lawyers. They just can't have the other Justice Department people, who may be in on all this, sitting there. Oh, don't answer that. Yeah, you don't get to make demands. It's funny how they know all of this when it comes to Trump, but they can't figure it out for themselves.
Yeah, well, I mean, Trump's not a special person. He's not an elite. He's just another pleb. Sure, he's a pleb with money, but how dare he think that he can be one of the specials?
Wait, this is my favorite part. Reyes then asked the DOJ if it would drop its opposition if it were allowed to have DOJ lawyers in the room for the questioning. When the lawyers said they couldn't answer that question at this time, Reyes exclaimed, "Are you kidding me?" Remember, that's their reason for why they wouldn't let us have lawyers in there. Well, if they let them, will you go, we can't really answer that. But Yeah, Eagle. It's not just a two-tiered system, though. I mean, it's blatant corruption is what we're looking at here.
Yep. And they're not even trying to hide their corruption.
Nope.
This is absolutely third world politics. Banana republics.
Uh-oh. Did you break out, or is that me? Probably me.
It's nonsense.
It really is. All right, Jack. I'm looking for a story I meant to open and I forgot. Damn it. Where did it go? This one. Now, if you've been around these parts for a while, you've heard me talk shit about NPR many times.
Yeah, deservedly so. Yeah.
NPR has always had a leftist bent. But like most news operations, with the rise, I guess is the word I want, of Donald Trump. Sorry, my throat, guys. It's bad right now. With the rise of Donald Trump, any possible claim of unbiased reporting had to be thrown out the window. You cannot look at how the mainstream media acts these days and even pretend that it is not a PR arm of the DNC.
Yeah.
And NPR as much as anyone else. And this is an article from Yuri Berliner. I'm not familiar with him, Jack. Truthfully, when it comes to most reporters, when I read their writing, I don't pay attention to who wrote it.
Yeah.
I probably should, because there are patterns with these people.
Yeah, that's true.
He says, I've been at NPR for 25 years. Here's how we lost America's trust. Now, we're not going to read through this whole thing. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to read any of it. I'll throw it into chat for you guys. But he basically says what I just did as I was introducing this segment. It all boils down to Trump, and they decided that what they had to do was get Trump. He says they marry themselves to the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, that Adam Schiff himself basically becomes a driving force of NPR coverage.
Mm-hmm.
He was interviewed 25 different times by NPR over Russian collusion. 25 in 3 years. He also goes over the COVID stuff, specifically the lab leak, and how NPR just became a public DNC talking platform where lab leak, no, there's no possible way. Even when evidence is coming out and different governmental departments are saying, look, what they call it, low, not low expectation, low confidence that this was a lab leak, but that's where we think it came from. We don't have a lot of evidence on that, but that was still more than they've been willing to do up to that point. Uh-oh, we lost Jack. And NPR, instead of covering any of that shit, was just like, nah, bruh, it was totally a Wuhan market. All of that has been debunked. It's all been debunked. Don't you get it? And then the final one that he talks about is at the end of the article, he starts talking about what's basically DEI, right? Is that there are these different groups within their union. There's a black group and a Mexican group and whatever the normal groups are that we hear everywhere, they have those inside their union. And they were basically given editorial control. Now, I'm paraphrasing, and you really should read the whole thing just to get the full story on how he wrote it. But there was no surprise here to me other than him having the balls to come out and admit it. And I can only guess that that's because as he's getting older, as you can see here, he's getting older. He's been a reporter for 25 years, so he's probably in his 50s. That he wants to maintain some semblance of a reputation. But the interesting part here is if you read through this, it's all stuff we've been telling you. It's all stuff we've pointed out. And not just about NPR, but about all of US media. And it's really fucking disturbing to see. It really is. Because there's no shame in him. He points out, look, this is why they don't trust us anymore. And he actually points to the figures of the audience of NPR. And he says, people say it's always been leftist, but no, that's not true. And then he gives stats to prove that the audience was always leftist. But it went from being a left-leaning organization, judging by the audience, to pretty much MSNBC. And he says this, right? That's not a bad thing if you come out and admit that you are, a partisan organization. And again, I'm paraphrasing here. And I would agree with him with that, except what he's talking about is lying. I don't care if you come out and say you're Republican or you're Democrat or you're left or you're right or you're a black media channel or a white media. I don't care what you call yourselves and tell me that you have your biases. That's fine. But your biases shouldn't lead you to lying. And that's what they did. I mean, especially with like the lab leak thing. I mean, there's the evidence always pointed towards lab leak. Always. He even points it out in this. There were people talking about the lab leak theory before it ever came over here. We're talking back in January of 2020. And they're like, no, this has no markers of human. There's no way a human could have made this. There's markers we'd look for if a human made it. But it came from a lab. Well, we had no way of really knowing that at the time. Do you remember how emphatic Fauci was? He literally said that no, it has no markers that it came from a human. No. This looks like a zoological transfer. Do you guys remember me making fun of that shit back in the day? But anyway, it's just a really interesting piece to read. In that, yeah, duh. And none of the people that are involved in it really seem to care. I was watching Megyn Kelly today. She had on, what is her name? I need to look that up before I keep just calling her that lady, who used to work for ESPN. I want to say she was on Fox for a while, but don't quote me on that. And she came out recently and said that Biden, when she did the interview with him, she was told, hey, these are the questions you can ask. Do not deviate from this script whatsoever. I'm scrolling to try to find her name, and we'll get there in a second. But I was watching her talk to Megyn Kelly today, and they were talking about how to work for one of these major news organizations. Yes, Sage Steele. Thank you, Tailfin. I hadn't even got there, but as soon as I saw the name, I recognized it. But if you work for one of these major news corporations, and yes, even Fox, you basically have to lie to your audience. You got to lie to them. And one of the things that they bring up is when she was at ESPN, and she's like, yeah, I wasn't allowed to admit that the best female athletes couldn't hold a candle to the men. Because she's gotten some pushback since she's left there about telling some of these women, like, look, Serena Williams, you are great at what you do. You are an excellent women's tennis player. But if you went against even men, you go back to like the 70s and athletes aren't like they are today, where everything has been computerized so you get the very best workout and all. Go back to when it was like fat guys playing. Even they would beat them. But you're not allowed to say that on the news because that goes against the narrative. What's up, Jack?
How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I've had better days. My internet decided to take a crap. Why can I see your regular monkey avatar, but if I look on the stream, I see your ninja, the monkey?
It seems to be against my regular monkey avatar today because people could. Is that what the chat is seeing too? It's still my Ninja Turtle one.
Yeah, because I've got the stream open in a separate tab.
Yeah, I just put that up for a second, and this has been on my normal avatar the whole show.
Weird, because that's an old monkey avatar.
Yeah, it's the rounder cheek instead of the more oval one.
Yeah, when the Asian guy was skinnier.
Yes. Here, it's so I don't get in trouble for copyright. Can you see that one now?
Yeah. Well, I can see it. I can't. It hasn't changed yet. Because give it a second. There it goes. Yeah.
There we go.
Christmas one.
There's my old Christmas one. He used to have 2 fingers, and I thought, nah, that's overkill. I don't want to get sued by the Ninja Turtle folk.
Yeah, you gotta wait for the sequel before you can have a second finger.
There's an updated version of this one somewhere on my computer, but I don't know where it's at. So I still have the older looking one. Plus, he looks meaner, so I like him more.
Nice.
Anyway, what was I talking? Oh, so much of our news these days is just flat out lying to people. It's just that's what they do. Whether we're talking about men being able to have babies or women being just as strong as men, none of it's true. It's just all nonsense. And there comes a point when the public has to fight back. And this is what the media really hated Donald Trump for, is pointing it out. No one had gone after the press the way that Donald Trump had since Reagan, and Reagan was much nicer about it. His was more subtle, where he'd call them douchebags. And Donald Trump is just like, you guys are douchebags. And he's right. But yeah, literally whatever the left projects is what becomes what the media tells you. And it's starting to blow up in their faces with the trans thing, Jack. Did you see Dr. Phil's preview for tomorrow?
I did. Dr. Phil's fire lately. He's gotten a little well rested, shall we say.
Yeah. I don't know how much of this we could play, because I do know Dr. Phil hits people for copyright from time to time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
they have an automatic thing.
Yep. We're just going to put her picture on the screen. And she used to work for a trans clinic for kids. You know, because that should totally be a thing.
Yeah.
And she said when she first started working there, Jack, they had maybe 10 kids a month, maybe, come through. And by the time she left, that was up to 50. That is a 500% increase. And instead of people going, wait, we got a problem here, they all went, yes, this is what we need to do to kids.
Think of all the money we're going to make. There's a special place in hell for these doctors.
Oh, definitely. She tells the story about how they got this letter, and I believe they even show it, from a mother removing her consent for what they were doing to her child. And what they had been doing is giving her a whole bunch of hormones, or him. I don't know. I don't remember if she actually says if it's boy or girl, but giving him a ton of hormones and pushing him down the trans path here. And the parent noticed a change in the child's behavior, a change in their grades, a general overall attitude of the child. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I think this is from the medicine. I don't consent to it anymore. And you know what they did?
Called CPS?
They ignored the mother.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
They're like, nuh-uh.
We'll do whatever we want with your children with our fun medical experiments. Thank you. Signed, Dr. Mangala.
Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I know what you're thinking. This person is out there saying that you shouldn't drug children to justify their delusions. So she's clearly transphobic.
I mean, obviously.
What you should know is that she's a lesbian married to a trans man.
It's all internalized bigotry then.
It's all internalized, yes.
With self-loathing, too.
Because she doesn't think that children should be abused.
What? Freak.
Don't worry, though. If you don't abuse your child that way, if you don't put them on drugs they don't need, they're going to kill themselves. I've heard that over and over and over again.
Now, Dr. Phil also did an episode of, I want to say a few days ago.
But before you get to that, have we seen a decrease in trans suicides now that it's more acceptable?
Nope.
The kids getting on hormones and stuff haven't stopped killing themselves at the same rate?
Nope. It's almost like there's some other underlying psychological issue.
Huh.
It's
Okay,
weird.
the other Dr. Phil you were talking about.
Yeah, he also did one where an ex-member of Hamas was talking to pro-Palestinian people.
Nice.
I recommend that one.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I'm not the biggest Dr. Phil fan. I like my talk shows more in the Phil Donahue up through Jerry Springer era.
Yeah,
He tries to
Geraldo
come
getting hit
off.
in the face with a chair kind of thing.
Yeah, he comes off a little bit too serious sometimes for me.
Yeah.
I want it to be goofy.
Yeah, you wanted
Plus-
a little more wrestling, and he's a little bit more like Charlie Rose.
And plus, I once saw him say that a man who looks at porn is basically cheating on his wife, and that's retarded. I guarantee you, your wife will feel different about you looking at a picture of a naked woman and banging her sister. Those are two totally different things. Stop comparing them.
Yeah, I can't speak to that because I'm not married mainly. But I don't think I'd marry somebody that's like, you can't watch porn. You can't tell me what to do, bitch. You're gonna take half my shit either way.
My ex-sister-in-law pulled that shit with my brother, and I told him, like, do an experiment. Let her catch you looking at porn, and then let her catch you fucking somebody. See if she thinks they're the same.
Yeah. No, she was like, I would prefer you didn't watch pornography. It makes me feel insecure or something like that. That's different than like, you can't do this, as opposed to please don't do this.
The notion that it's the same is what I have. I don't have a problem if that's a deal breaker for her. I don't want you looking at porn. I mean, okay. And then you as the man get to make that decision of whether it's a deal breaker for you.
Yeah.
It's the notion that it's the same as cheating that's just retarded.
Yeah, because there's no emotional investment.
Lever Action, thank you so much for the feminist $12.
Woo!
I rarely get to catch you live because of my schedule, but I'm on bed rest for next week because I have pneumonia. So I get to enjoy some monkey while I feel like I'm drowning. Yay, have to Jack. Thank you so much for that. And I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Thank you. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, me too. Pneumonia sucks, man.
Yeah, it does.
I've had it twice. The one I've told you about many times where it had that pain and they misdiagnosed it 3 different fucking times. And then the first time I had it, I ended up in the hospital for 5 days. Whoopsie. Don't tell them that you're asthmatic if you have pneumonia. They make you stay at the hospital. Like, he might stop breathing. I missed the ninja monkey already. Ugh. What other monkeys do I already have preloaded? Whoops, not that. Da, 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 da. What do we have? How about Hippie Monkey? Hippie Monkey is one of my favorite I ever did. I actually did this as a tribute to a hippie friend of mine. That's my Hippie Monkey. All right. I have so many things to
hang on, Retro. I got to refresh since my internet shit on me.
Uh-oh.
What?
Are you better now?
No, my internet crapped out a minute ago. Remember when I was gone?
Yeah, but you said you had to refresh.
I had to refresh my Streamlabs. I was talking to Retro.
Okay. I was asking if you were good.
No, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm confused. Thank you, Retro V Gamer. Says Jack. No. Oh wait, that was an Ethan Ralph thing, I think. So we gotta ward him off. Oh, thank God. I like that one. That's funny. I've never seen that one, I don't think.
This is my Easter one. He's made appearances on the show. I just forgot to do it this year. That's Easter Monkey. I like Hippie Monkey. Me too. Hippie Monkey is one of my favorites I've ever made. Anyway, where are we?
They're all funny. The Bat Monkey is probably my favorite of the non-traditional monkeys.
And I don't have it on here. I don't know why I don't have the Bat Monkey on here. There's several that I don't have on here that I normally would. I really like this one too. It just makes me smile.
My favorite is when I go in disguise as Matthias Gerbroni.
He looks disturbed.
There's a bunch of guns pointed at his head.
All right.
But it looks like he's pooping. So
I wonder why it won't let me change to my regular avatar.
I don't know. It's weird.
What about now? Does it pop up?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I like the
Let's take a few
jack-o'-lantern
seconds.
monkey. That's the Monko-lantern. Indeed, he is my favorite. He's just so cute.
Oh yeah, your regular avatar just showed up.
That's weird because like you could see that I had it up most
Yeah,
of the show.
Yeah.
It's just one of those weird things that happens from time to time. Somebody showed me today that they were watching, Games Radar, I think it was. But YouTube was screwing up, so it had my watermark on their video.
Weird.
Yeah. And there's many times I go to watch a video on YouTube. Like the other day, I went to watch Satsu. But instead of Satsu, it pulled up his title and everything. But on the screen was actually the last video I had watched. And I have to refresh to get it to fix. What I'm getting at is that the internet sucks sometimes. As
Yeah, a
you're
little
aware.
bit.
That monkey is disturbing looking, Frosted. I'll put it on the screen. I don't want to rob the people. Like, what monkey? This one. There you go.
Oh, I wear slanty eye hat to go. It's like the Asian guy's making fun of himself.
Thank you, Frost, who says, don't forget eye problems, monkey. Twitter DM. There you go. There it is. Oh, my God. This is going to be horrible because I'm going to talk about Japan now.
Oh, irony. Segue.
I've been watching reviews and stuff for the new Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Which I really do want to see because it sounds like it's more up my alley. I watched Moist Critical, Charlie, Penguin Zero, whatever you want to call him, his Moist Meter review of it. And he's with us, Jack. Like, there's too much human interaction in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see monsters beat each other up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're giving me, Hamlet, and I want fucking War of the Gargantuans.
We're apparently in for a good time though, Jack, because the human stuff has been cut way, way down.
Good. That's what I think they did learn from the Godzilla vs. Kong. That the less human storylines, the better. Even though that one had too much as far as I was concerned. I'd have cut that, slashed that in half, written out half of those characters, and just had a couple of scientists going, oh no, what do we do? And a bunch of cannon fodder people getting squished.
You can cut out all of the Millie Bobby Brown storyline and the guy with his crazy radio show. None of that's important to the story. They use it so that they can introduce Mechagodzilla and give a little bit of a backstory, but they could have had the bad guy in that one explain it to his daughter, who's literally only there to die.
Yeah.
So yeah, they didn't need that. I still love the movie. Don't get me wrong. It's probably my favorite kaiju movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
I like big spectacle, and there was a lot of big spectacle in that one.
Well, the scenes in, what was it, Singapore or Hong Kong? I don't even care. The city they were destroying where Godzilla is chasing Kong, and Kong's using the buildings like trees to swing around. That was awesome.
My favorite fight is actually the fight on the aircraft carrier.
Yeah, that was really cool. And a really fun idea, too, because the terrain changes who has the advantage.
Yeah.
Which is something I've always said about any kind of crossover fight.
And they kind of do that in that one, because in the first one, Kong loses. He wins the second fight, which is kind of short, and then you almost immediately have the third fight where Kong loses suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Kong would win, and I know there's people like, nuh-uh. Kong, in my opinion, gets the advantage because he's more intelligent than Godzilla is, and he can use tools.
Yeah, absolutely. Which the X made sense.
Yeah. Now, in a strict one-on-one fight, Godzilla's got his atomic breath. He wins, sure. But Kong lost every fight. No, he didn't. He left Godzilla sitting on his ass.
Yeah, he almost chopped him in half with the X.
Anyhow, and Godzilla would be dead if Kong didn't kill Mechagodzilla. What else did I want to talk? I didn't mean to talk about movies again. I love talking about movies, though, Jack.
Yeah, I do really want to see that. I want to see the Ghostbusters movie. Yeah, I don't care if it's mediocre. A lot of people are giving it like C reviews. I don't care. I want to see it, but with Dad in the hospital, it threw everything out of whack. So I haven't been able to follow through on a lot of plans that I had.
I
So,
want to watch the new Ghostbusters because I'm a fan of Ghostbusters, and the last one wasn't horrible.
yeah, Afterlife
Um,
is a good kids movie.
I
As far as I was
just,
concerned, it's just a kids movie, like
I just,
Explorers or Flight of the Navigator.
it has worried me that people have said that my worry happened. There's just too many goddamn characters in it. So, well, I'll see. I'll still watch it. Did you see the release for the trailer of the Joker? Or sorry, the Joker 2.
Yes, I did.
The Quartering removed his take on this.
Oh, I was just surprised because it was another
Pussy.
stupid hot take.
Well, his hot take was it's being billed as a musical. It's going to have 15 songs. That's about 45 minutes. I have no interest unless the other hour of it is really good storytelling.
Like Oklahoma.
And then he
Music
says,
Man?
it's okay to be excited if you're oblivious.
To what? What the fuck is he talking about?
He's getting ahead of the woke train on this one, man. It's musical theater, so of course it's gay. It's got to be. That's got to be what he's getting at, right?
Yes, there's a woman and a man falling in love, so it's clearly gay.
The trailer's out. As Frosted, the first was great, so I'm worried. The first one was a decent movie.
Yeah, I like the first one. It was basically Taxi Driver.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie. I was never on the train that everybody else was. I mean, people were jacking off to that movie, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't really get that either, but it is a very well done cinematic film.
Yeah,
It's what you would call film and not a movie because it's a little bit more high art in a lot of ways, like the
Yep.
cinematography, stuff like that. Fine. I don't really care. You know, it's like watching 2001. Yeah, it's pretty. I get it. I get what you're going for. But, you know, it's not my favorite movie or anything. But I enjoyed it. It was a pretty fun film. I've seen it twice. How's that?
and the new one looks like they're keeping most of the same style, but adding music. Here's the thing about musicals. The story is actually told in the songs as well as the in-between parts.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're ignoring the music, I get why you would only pay attention. Be like, I hope the rest of the story's good. That's because you're not paying attention to half the story, tard monkey.
Yeah, because
I need to make a tard monkey.
Yeah, you do. You have a special helmet on.
But
you could be a representative with that kind of avatar.
right. Now, my thing with the Joker too, though, I wish they would have given us more of, because all they do is sing one song in it, and what's the name of it? Fuck, I forget. It's an old song, and I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Like in Moulin Rouge, a lot of the songs are just 80s songs redone for the movie.
Yeah,
but it still works in the movie. I still enjoyed it. Watching the trailer for this, it looks like cinematically they're doing it the same way they did the first one.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it has the same stylistic flares.
I wouldn't mind if they made more Sound of Music movies. Don't get no. Hopefully you mean movies like Sound of Music, because they're going to make Sound of Music 2, Hitler's Revenge, or something stupid like that.
Hitler's Boogaloo.
Hitler's Boogaloo, yes. Oh, deep in the heart of the concentration camp. Anyhow,
the Von Trapp's Great Escape.
I like some musicals. I hate others. It depends on the music in it mostly, and whether or not it's in black and white. Because, you know, Wizard of Oz can go fuck itself.
Dude, you hate a cultural phenomenon. I don't understand. It's like hating Harry Potter. Something wrong with you.
I hear you, but I hate it, and I'm unapologetic about it.
You just hate sepia tone.
I don't like black and white movies, and most of the songs in that were stupid. Anyhow, what?
So much hate in your heart.
It's not my fault they made a bad movie.
They made a good movie, but it was totally not accurate with the book.
It's a bad movie. Did you know, Jack, that Visa and MasterCard are partnered with CCP-owned China Union Pay?
I mean, why would anyone be surprised by that?
Several stories have come out about this, about how, our major credit card companies are in bed with the CCP.
Yeah, well, maybe the Fed should be investigating them instead of going after people that were standing around looking at January 6th.
Everybody's worried about TikTok, and the Chinese are spying on you in every way possible.
Yep, getting access to your data, your purchases, so they know who to put on their enemies list when they finally take over this little vassal state they got running under Biden.
I was asked for the story. There you go. Before TikTok was a thing, you were giving your information to the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
You think Apple products got out of there without any Chinese stuff? Really? You're more forgiving than I am. All of you out there running around with your MacBook Pro, good job. But we have the most secure computers ever. Yeah, as long as you don't care about the Chinese looking in on it, sure.
Yeah, it's bad enough the feds are spying on you domestically, but the CCP, well, good luck.
And this is why when those stories come out, they're getting our information. They have your information. The only thing they're looking at now is trends in your information so they can sell you more shit.
Yeah, later when they conquer us, or we just fully surrender to them, then they'll want to use that information against you in other ways.
Can't talk about that story because it's child abuse and I want to kill that lady. There was a video came out. There's a woman on a bus. I forget where it was at.
I saw that.
Abusing handicapped kids.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
And when I say abuse, guys, I'm not talking about she called them retards. She was actually punching these children. And nonverbal kids. She knew which targets to pick, didn't she?
Yep.
I fucking hate people like that. And we have to talk about Pearl. I don't want to talk about Pearl, but this is just funny to me, so we're gonna. Sydney Watson hit her up because Pearl did a stream about a Sydney video. And after the stream, she puts out a bunch of, what are they called? The shorts. Mm-hmm. And in the shorts, all she shows is Sydney Watson.
So she doesn't show stealing Sydney's content.
Any of her content, only Sydney's. And Sydney called her out for it. And good on Sydney for doing so.
Yeah.
Well, Pearl came out with like, I'm so sorry. I wasn't trying to rip you off, which she puts in quotes. For some reason, you were clearly ripping her off. And blames it on the people who are doing her cutting down for her. Well, she put out 2 different tweets. And in the first one, she literally says, our clipper is a guy in Nigeria who pulls clips and sometimes doesn't understand how the copyright works at times. She blamed the Nigerian prince. I don't know. You can't one, this isn't the only time this has happened. She's done this with Andrew Tate. But how do you blame the Nigerian? It's your channel. You're still responsible for it. And why is ripped off in fucking quotes? But the reason I wanted to highlight this is somebody said, wait, YouTubers are now starting third world sweatshops? This is crazy. And I laughed so hard I almost peed.
Well, she's just following the example she learned from Andrew.
Pearl's running sweatshops to make her little shorts.
I didn't even know Sydney was still doing content because I haven't watched her in months.
No, she went a little too
feministy.
Yeah. I get it. You've had some bad experiences with some guys. That doesn't mean all guys are bad. It's kind of the whole point of the anti-feminist movement.
Yeah.
Bad people exist.
And it says a lot about your judgment that you keep picking bad people. Thank you, Travis Gardner. While you are worried about your iPhone, think of what the new LG smart washer with AI is sending back. Oh,
Yeah, no
yeah.
shit.
I would never have smart appliances. That's fucking dumb.
Like she's sitting on the spin cycle again.
Yeah.
Do women still do that?
I'm sure some of them do.
Ladies, do you still rub up against the washer when it's on the spin cycle? I honestly don't know. I'm not a woman. As a man, I just can't imagine that you find a good way to masturbate and you don't take advantage of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
some people are really weird about that stuff.
Yeah, women are. I saw this totally off topic. Who was it? Ah, fuck. I can't think of her first name. Her last name's O'Connell. She had a discussion the other day online about not liking her man going down on her. She says it's just uncomfortable for her because she has anxiety the whole time. And I've known women like that. And this other woman was trying to own her for not wanting a dude to go down on her. And it was one of the most insane conversations I've ever witnessed. Because the other one, oh, your husband must just not be good at it. And he's gone 6 months of the year. So maybe that's the problem. Like, no, some women are just, kind of touchy about their girly parts.
Yeah.
And if you're with a woman who doesn't want you going down on her, it's no big deal. Just like if she wants you to, get your face in there and lick it. Be a man. Don't be a Tate. Just saying. Anyhow, I just thought it was one of the most asinine conversations. Why do you care that this woman doesn't want her man going down on her?
I don't know.
I could even see if it was the other way around and she's like, I don't want to go down on my man, and somebody being like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. You should do it for him. But it's what she wants and what she likes. Why is that any of your fucking business? How did that turn into an argument? The internet is so weird. I saw today, who is it? Vogue, one of those assholes. They have a new spread out with some singer, I forget who is it, Rihanna, I think, dressed as a hoary nun. And Lauren Chen said, I dare you to try that with a hijab. And some dude shoots back with, how come you only ever bring this up when Jews are talking about it? And I'm like, oh, what? But the magazine is owned by a Jewish person and the writers were Jewish. And apparently the only reason that Lauren said that is because Jew.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, that makes total sense. That's
like,
not stupid at all.
How the fuck did you make this about Jews?
It was the Jews.
You could literally change all of the names involved, and I have a feeling that if you put that same cover photo up there, Lauren would have said the exact same thing.
Did Lauren even know that these were Jews?
She probably didn't pay attention. But somebody said, people are starting to notice patterns. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are.
There or not.
Are the Jews in the room with you right now? She's putting her business on the internet. She's asking for people to opine. I don't care if people opine on it. It's just weird. It turned into an argument. It's an own. If you want to own her for being that sensitive about her girly parts, okay, I kind of get that. But it's because your husband's gone for 6 months. That's really something that this person said to her. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with it? That makes what is wrong with you people? I'd love to argue, and even I can't understand why you're arguing sometimes. Not everything has to be an argument.
Doesn't have to be, but it can be.
Man. Someone needed that APAC money for a space laser. Lauren Chen's just, one of the Jews now, I guess. She's falling for the Jewish propaganda, or I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you could tell it by the look on her that was all those Asian features.
Her point was about the fact that they do this to Christianity, but they won't do it to any other religion. They just don't. They won't do it to Jews because there's at least still some shame for doing that. And they sure as hell won't do it to Muslims because they're a protected class.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Christianity, you can literally do anything. And that's the point she was making. You guys, it's the same thing I say about atheists all the time. Most of you are fucking pussies. You hate Christianity, not religion. No, I don't like Muslims either. Say it, bitch. I saw Chuck Schumer today. Apparently, there's some Muslim holiday thing going on. I don't have enough phlegm in my throat to pronounce it.
Yeah, it's like Eid.
Yeah, it's some blessed kind of thing. Good for them. And I asked Chucky Schumer, like, hey, I see you are, celebrating Islam. What do you think about Muhammad waiting until his 6-year-old bride was 9 to nail her? Is that a blessed event? He didn't answer.
No, why would he? It's Washington. There's probably a lot of peds there, so they're probably okay with it. Maybe that's why Hollywood celebrates Islam so much, because they both enjoy the youngins.
Thank you, Keldrick, who said you'd see the pattern too if you read read between the lines of a cookbook. Indeed. Well, here's the thing. So the other day I made a comment in response to Pearl, because of course, and it wasn't actually in response. Well, it kind of was. It was more in response to the dumb shit she was trying to push. But I just pointed out that Christianity is based on forgiveness. And it literally is. The bringing of the Messiah is, in his death, is to wash the sins of humanity. It's literally forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
This leads to a huge fucking blow up of my timeline to where I just stayed off of it for most of a day. Because people are arguing about Christianity in the comments. Last I saw, you know how many people commented on me being quite offensive to Muslims?
Nobody?
None. What I said about nobody wants to touch that. But you want to rip on Christians, knock yourself out. And once again, guys, I am not religious. I'm not. But the pattern I notice is that you can bash Christians all you want in this country, but don't touch the others. That's verboten. How dare you talk bad about... If you say that they'll kill us if we draw their Muhammad, you're just being rude. All right, well, then I'm going to draw their Muhammad. Don't do that. They'll kill you.
Why would you do that? You're a bigot.
It's absolutely asinine. That's why I don't take most atheists seriously, because they're just anti-Christian and liars and pussies. All right. San Francisco proposal would allow lawsuit over grocery store closers. You sent this to me last night, and I read this shit, and I have a new proposal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, guys, in this story, what they tell us is that if a business wants to close down, a grocery store wants to close down for crime in the area, because they're having a real problem with this, they have to give people 6 months warning or have another grocery store that's willing to take them over.
Because that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I have a better idea. If they leave, they can be sued and all kinds of bad stuff can happen to them. Instead of that, since the lawmakers are clearly the ones that are the issue here, because if they didn't have this law, Jack, then the grocers wouldn't be there. To me, it all falls on the lawmakers. So if any grocery stores close down in San Francisco, you should be able to sue the commissioners.
Yes, I'd be more inclined to go with that one.
Doesn't that make more sense? It's not the grocery store's job to keep the city safe.
Yeah, it's the city's job.
San Francisco lawmaker introduced a proposal that will require grocery stores in the city to provide 6 months notice before closing and to explore a replacement supermarket at the vacated location. Dean Preston, a fucking retard on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, introduced what he calls the Grocery Protection Act, which is based on a proposal the board approved in '84 that was vetoed by then San Francisco Mayor Dianne Feinstein. So Feinstein did one thing right in her life. Good for her. But yeah, this is fucking stupid. The reason that these people are closing down their stores is because they can't keep them running. They're being robbed blind, and insurance companies are like, nah, bro, we're not helping you anymore. Is this the story you sent me last night, or is this a different take on it?
I don't remember.
Because I think it was the one last night where it pointed out that people are having trouble getting insurance to start a business in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's happening in a lot of big cities. And their insurance rates are skyrocketing, which means higher prices. Then you got California pushing for a $20 minimum wage that's kicking in now. How are you supposed to keep people employed? You can't afford to work there. You can't afford to run a store anymore.
The 6-month notice requirement would be waived if the closure is caused by business circumstances that weren't reasonably foreseeable, Jack.
Whatever that means.
Such as a natural disaster.
Yeah, I guess. Or like a bankruptcy. Oh, wait, that would be reasonably foreseeable, perhaps. So you'd still be getting sued. Oh, you should know a tsunami could hit.
It would also not be required if the business is in the process of actively seeking capital or business that would allow the closure to be postponed or avoided, and they have a good faith belief that the closure, excuse me so much, that the notice of closure would preclude the store from obtaining capital. So you can waive this if you're trying to get a loan and you don't want to tell the bank, hey, by the way, we're probably going to close in 6 months. Why would that be an issue? Why would it be an issue to tell a bank that you're going to be closing down when you're trying to get a business loan, you fucking tards?
Yeah, that would immediately be rejected.
And if they're planning on closing it down, why would you go? You're asking people to go into bankruptcy.
Yeah. I think more likely it would just involve a lot of like shady people being hired to burn places down for the insurance money.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, that's what I would do.
Yeah. It would be a lot more cost effective than this nonsense and facing the threat of lawsuits.
Grocery stores relying on those exceptions would still be required to give as much notice as practical.
How about go fuck yourselves? It's none of your business. This really is some like overbearing government nonsense. No one's going to want to ever do business in your city with this kind of crap. You're not. The people that leave aren't ever going to be replaced.
The bill would also require that grocery stores meet and work in good faith with the neighborhood residents.
What does that mean? We'll let you loot us. Thanks.
And the OEWD to find a workable solution to keep grocery stores available at the location. How about this? Have the community stop robbing the grocery stores.
Yeah. Yeah. Start prosecuting people that are looting. How about that?
Those solutions would include identifying strategies and resources to allow the store to remain open, helping residents organize and open a cooperative, and identifying another grocery store operator to take over and continue grocery sales at the location.
More hippie bullshit to say we're not going to punish criminals. We're going to punish the corporations because it's their fault.
You're Piggly Wiggly and you're losing money because you're getting robbed blind in a city that does not care about crime. And you're like, oh, shit. Hey, somebody call Food Line and see if they want to buy us out.
Right?
This is retarded. This is the kind of stupid shit that communists do. And I know you're going to keep that shit there because we decide. And I'm not talking about communists I'm talking about American communists. We're going to force you to keep doing this, even though it's bad for your business.
Yeah, you don't get a choice. It's not about you. It's about the community. See, you're putting profits ahead of people.
Yeah. We're not talking about places that are closing down because the owner died and his son doesn't want to run it, and it's a really good location and they just couldn't find a buyer. You're talking about people who are leaving because the business is being destroyed by the, I'm going to use this very, very lightly, customer.
Yeah. Customers buy things. They're just loiterers.
And this is why I say, instead of there being something that punishes these businesses, it should punish these city planners, the people on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors.
Yep. And the DA's office. And there's so much wrong with this mentality of, like, it's not the people who are stealing from you's problem, or, you know, the constant crime rate. No, it's your fault. We have to blame you for this.
Last year, a Whole Foods location in San Francisco closed a little more than 1 year after it opened. Records indicate that the Market Street location was the scene of 568 emergency calls in a 13-month period due to incidents such as vagrants throwing food, yelling, fighting, attempting to defecate on the floor. At least 14 arrests were made at the location.
That's kind of sad. Only 14 arrests out of all of those calls.
568 calls. You only arrested 14 people. Does anybody see the problem?
Well, normal people see the problem, but the politicians are like, oh, well, we got to get those arrest numbers down. They're in crisis, you know.
That's like 2% of the calls, Jack.
Yep.
More recently, Safeway announced in January that it planned to close the store in March, but they have pushed that back until January. Yeah, it's not for these people to be like, you have to keep that grocery store. It really reminded me of the arguments I've had with Irate Alex over this, where he believes that if you work for somebody, Jack, they have a responsibility to keep you hired.
Yeah, that's a European mentality.
Like, you know, you're owed a job from that place because you work there.
Yeah, that's how Europe does it. It's almost impossible to get fired from a job.
Yeah. No, if I don't need you for the business, why the hell am I employing you? It's actually detrimental to your business at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's annoying to me, and more and more we're seeing this. No, we have to force people to do this. You're going to force grocery stores to stay open.
Yes.
And that makes sense to you. You're not going to clean up the neighborhood so they want to stay. No. That would be insane, Jack.
Well, I mean, you're going to hurt innocent poor people. I mean, there's a lot of vagrants that need that shoplifting stuff.
They're trying to shit on your floor because they really need the bread. Anyway, Dearborn activist whose rally sparked cries of death to America is his Islamic teacher who thinks it would be an honor to be named on the terror watch list, but complained about being racially profiled at an airport. We didn't watch that video on here. It's as asinine as you would think. Dearborn, Michigan, they had a pro-Palestinian rally, 2 or 3 days ago now, Jack?
Yeah, it's been a few days. Yeah.
And he doesn't actually say death to America in his speech, but he's pretty much saying fuck America through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, as he's talking, there's people in his audience chanting death to America. Dearborn's an hour south of me. Dearborn is 3,000 years to the past of me. Tarek Bazi sparked outcry following a hostile anti-American protest in Dearborn. The Islamic teacher has called for bloodshed in the war against the West. He has rallied against U.S. schools for corrupting values, but was educated here. And he's your standard Western educated retard. I mean, I don't know if you saw that video, Jack, but there was a Jewish woman talking, I want to say in Frisco, but don't quote me on that. And she gets to her allotted time, and there's protesters there who start yelling at her, time, to the point where I think it's the mayor of the town is like, all right, everybody stop. We're going to let her finish speaking. She's a fucking Holocaust survivor, Jack.
Yeah. Oh, they don't care. A lot of things. You'd be shocked how many people don't believe the Holocaust was real.
But these are lefties who, under normal circumstances, if it wasn't for the Gaza stuff right now, if you said, I think sometimes Jews are a little penny pinching. How dare you be anti-Semitic? But now that they're defending terrorists in Gaza, suddenly it's okay to bash Jews. It's okay to literally shout down a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah, it's the progressive stack. You know,
Jesus.
they're more oppressed because they're brown and they have a religion that they don't hate.
I mean, the Canadians brought in a Nazi, I guess.
Yeah.
An Islamic activist whose Michigan rally sparked calls of death to America has previously said it would be an honor to be placed on the list of history's biggest terrorists. I say we just put him on there now.
Yeah. Well, some people are asking to be put on the do not fly list.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much. The bullet points hit the story. He's now just whining that he's gotten profiled. Maybe they weren't profiling you. Maybe they know who you are. Maybe they know who you are, and Muslims have especially extremist Muslims have a bad history with airplanes. I'm just asking questions, Jack. If I told you a plane was hijacked, what does your mind immediately go to as the hijacker?
Yeah, Muslim.
It's probably just the 80s movies we watched.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with the actual hijackings of jets that were done by, Muslims.
Throughout the 70s and 80s. Well, they kind of stopped when Reagan got in office. Yeah, he's serious.
They really did. They're like, oh, shit, he'll kill us. Stop appeasing people who hate America, especially Americans. Get the fuck out, homie.
Yeah, you don't like it? Get out. Leave.
Get out. There you go. You can go hate America with the Palestinians. Good luck with you. Fuck it. I'll even be nice. Go hang out with the Houthis. I'll let you live a few minutes longer. Did you see the peace talks have kind of hit a stall over there in between the Gazans and the Israelis?
Oh, I'm shocked.
Oh, have you not seen this?
No, I know that the Gazans have been mostly just kind of ignoring and saying no to everything.
Okay.
The last I heard, they were like, "Oh, we can't actually release any hostages."
Did you see why or what they said about the hostages, though?
No.
They've hit a snag because there's 138, I think it's 138 people still unaccounted for. And they said, oh, we can't meet your demands to release all the hostages because 40 of them are unaccounted for and probably dead.
Well, I know some of the hostages were actually held by citizens and not the regular terror group. So that tells you a lot about the locals.
No, Jack, they're all innocent people who totally hate Hamas, and they would be Jew-loving Palestinians if only the Jews would be nicer to them.
Yeah, something like that.
They totally don't support Hamas. They're innocents.
Sure they are.
They're just trying to live their best life.
Yeah, right.
Killing and raping Jews. Fuck. Guys, I get it if you don't like, some of how Israel does things, but when you side with Hamas, you're just wrong, okay? You're just wrong. UCLA Med School forced first-year students to attend lecture of Hamas supporter who blasted modern medicine as white science and made them pray to Mama Earth.
Yep.
I don't even know where to go with that.
I know, right? That line is... That's a rough one. There's a lot happening there.
First-year medical students at the University of California, Los Angeles, were forced to sit through a lecture given by a Hamas supporter who blasted modern medicine as white science and ordered them to pray to Mama Earth. Lisa Tiny Gray Garcia, that's a dude, isn't it? Changed his name to Lisa because of his nickname Tiny.
But maybe.
Gave a 2-hour-long lecture entitled Housing Injustice in LA, addressing unhousing and practicing solidarity at the medical school's Griffin Hall last week.
Because that's relevant to medicine.
According to a complaint filed by the university's Jewish Faculty Resilience Group. Oh, fucking Jews at it again.
Out there wanting to be left alone.
What in the fuck? Never mind. She was seen in a video posted online keeping her face covered with a how do you say that? Cafe?
I don't know.
With a bandana, let's be honest. We're American, man. We have bandanas.
Yeah.
The Cowboys were cool. This is retarded.
Yes, it is.
Or a Palestinian scarf as she spoke about homelessness and compared it to the situation in the Gaza Strip. How are those linked? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of homeless in the Gaza Strip right now, but that's because the homes are literally gone.
Because they started a war and then they lost.
Anyway, and compared it to the situation in Gaza Strip during the lecture, which students were required to attend under the medical school's woke curriculum. During the lecture, the students were instructed to touch the floor with their fist, while Gray Garcia made a non-secular prayer to Mama Earth and our ancestors. Mama Earth was never meant to be bought, sold, pimped, or played, she said. I'm going to pimp out Mama Earth, man. You know how many holes she has? I'm going to get tons of money.
Right? Like, share, subscribe, and donate.
She claimed that private property and scarcity are capitalist lies. What? Are capitalist lies that killed black, brown, and houseless people.
Houseless people. Whatever
well,
that
somebody's a George Carlin fan. That's a joke he makes once. You know, we shouldn't call them homeless. We should call them houseless because a home is a abstract idea and a house is a tangible thing.
Yeah, they've actually been using that and the unhoused, which sounds like a horror movie if you ask me. Beware the unhoused.
Not only are our bodies considered unclean in public, not only are our lives criminalized for being outside without a roof, but politricksters use us for their campaigns. So is she homeless?
I don't know. Probably not. She's probably one of those like homeless on the weekend kind, you know, regular panhandler types.
Gray Garcia went on to note that California spent $30 million on the removal of our houseless bodies and asked students to think about how many homes could be built with that money, even in these inflated, ridiculous prices of commodified Mama Earth. Mama Earth is killing me, dude.
I'd like to think this was just some random hobo that wandered in and claimed to be a speaker, and they're like, oh, okay.
I'd like to believe it was Alex Stein going back to being funny.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
At another point during the lecture, this retard is said to have called modern medicine white science and said that they were in what the settlers call LA.
You mean that Spanish term, Los Angeles?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the English are the one who always get the bullshit for being colonizers, but everybody was in on it.
Yeah. Let's not forget the Dutch were here for a while, too.
There's a reason that most people below the border speak Spanish.
Yeah, Spain wrecked all of South America. Them and the Portuguese.
Spain and Portugal went ham, man. Where are we? In other instances, the advocate for the houseless led students in chants of free Palestine. And when one student refused to stand during a second pagan prayer, an unidentified UCLA faculty member asked for the pupil's name. Eat me. My name would have been Eat Me.
I, for one, would have given them my name, or my name isn't Matthias Gerbroni.
I've been like, ask your mom. She knows. She yells it out every night, bitch. What the fuck? UCLA takes federal money, don't they?
I'm sure they do.
This would be a clear violation of the Constitution.
You would think so, but what they force kids to listen to now is absolutely asinine. But they get away with it. Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. I was called a Zionist terrorist for daring to give John Fetterman a compliment under one of your posts. I don't know that I've ever expressed an opinion about Zionism, but the anti-Zionists are definitely pushing me to one side, and it's not theirs. Oh, yeah, if you even suggest that Israel did something that wasn't a war crime, you're a Zionist now.
Look, if I wasn't already snipped, I would go get a circumcision in solidarity at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Oh, this is our chick, is she? She an old white lady, dude.
I didn't actually look at the photos. I saw the video clip before I found the article.
Well,
And
remember,
she was masked up the whole time.
Yeah, she had the mask on. Her name is Gray Garcia, so that means her name is Gray, right? And then Garcia would be her married name.
Theoretically, unless her parents were Gray Garcia.
This a honky chick, man, and an old honky chick. What's she doing at medical school? She's like 90.
Well, she's just a speaker. She's not a student.
Oh my God. Oh, okay, Jack, you ready to hear her?
I've already heard her.
Sorry. Audience, you guys ready to hear her? Fuck, I was not expecting this voice.
I am a poverty scholar. That house's mama, that house's daughter. I am a poverty scholar. All the people you don't want to see, never want to be, look away from me. What you gonna do, arrest me? We're in your city.
I liked her better with the mask on. She looks like a homeless person.
How many cultural appropriations can we find in this picture?
All of them. All of the appropriations.
Fuck. Wow. This is slam poetry, I guess?
Well, it is the Poetry Center. But I suspect those things behind her on the wall, she's never opened.
No. Not unless she was looking for rolling paper, man.
Yeah, or to sell them for crack money, which is, I mean, this chick looks like you could throw a 20 at her and she'll blow you in an alley.
Why is she wearing American colors?
I don't know. It's probably some native thing, and she's so it's not actually American. It was stolen from a tribe.
You're probably right on that one.
I am a poverty scholar, and I rock my jailhouse attire because me and my po mama did the poverty crime of being unhoused in this stolen indigenous holler.
That and meth.
You wear a prison jumpsuit because homeless people in California have to wear prison jumpsuits?
Since they get arrested for being homeless, monkey. I would think that she's not homeless during that period because she's in a jail.
She's in a jail. She's housed.
Yeah, but she committed the great atrocity of being unhoused in the stolen indigenous land.
They forced these medical students to listen to this bitch?
Yep.
God damn.
I am a poverty scholar, the melanin challenged daughter of a strong Afro-Boricua mama for without whom there would be no me, a mama soltera and a welfare queen.
You didn't have to tell me your mom was a welfare queen.
Yeah, I'm so shocked.
The only way you would surprise me is if you told me it wasn't in a trailer park. Seriously.
Or Section 8 housing.
Please slap this hoe. No, this hoe is slapping right now. How dare you?
Oh, this
slaps. This is fire.
And yeah, the anti-social workers and the case manglers call me crazy, lazy, dumb, and a bum.
I'd agree.
And they're right.
Yeah. For once, they got something correct.
You asked for it, monkey. Remember that? DMs. Ah, shit. Thank you, Frosted, but I might take that back in a second. What did you do now? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not taking that back because this is wonderful. You ready for this, Jack? Are you looking at the screen?
I'm looking at the screen, monkey. You'll regret this. Needs drool.
Well played, sir. Well played indeed.
I like that. I love Windex.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Team lemon flavor. All right. We don't have to go back to crazy.
How
lemon.
about Team Pint Scented? Nice work, Frosted.
Well done indeed, sir. All right. We still had other stories here. What time? Oh shit. This may be our last one because I need to go do a Gamity stream.
If it's our last one, do the second to last.
Second to last?
Yeah.
All right. United Airlines flight is forced to divert after a dog. Fuck. This is why I don't agree with animals being in stores. United Airlines flight is forced to divert after a dog pooped in the first class aisle as passengers share horrifying images of the mess that left travelers ill and took over 2 hours to clean up. Jack, when I worked at Walmart, we were not allowed to even ask people for proof that their whatever animal they brought into the store was a service animal.
Yeah.
This is right about the time when suddenly service animals no longer had to do anything other than make you feel good.
Yeah, they were emotional support animals.
They were pebbles. Pebbles!
Pebbles! Rest in power.
And people bringing these fucking animals. You're not allowed to smoke in a store, but to have a dog shit in there is fine because rich white girl has a Paris Hilton dog and she just can't be without it. Don't take your animals into stores, and if you're putting them on a plane, they should be in the fucking cargo hold where they belong.
Well, I mean, most airlines have, if you have them up with you, they're supposed to be in a carrier. They're not supposed to be wandering loose, just for safety reasons.
A Reddit user said a dog defecated in the aisle next to the first class bathroom. He was trying.
He almost made it to the bathroom.
And for the record, I don't blame the dog for any of this. I blame more on fucking people who have started treating dogs like they're, their children.
They're fur babies.
The United Airlines flight from traveling from Houston to Seattle.
That's a great sentence, isn't it?
That's a great sentence. It was going from Houston to Seattle. It was diverted via Dallas. Oh, so this dog shit quick.
Yeah. Like, have your dog poop before getting on the plane at least?
Yeah, if you're going to make them land the plane, have your dog wait at least like 3 hours into the flight so you're over flyover country. Well, I guess that's only probably an hour and a half for these guys. You want them to have to land in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas is too close. Bad dog. You should have waited. Hold it a little longer. Inconvenience people more.
Again, I don't blame the dog for this.
No.
Because, I mean, if the dog had to poop that early in the flight, they didn't take him out before they got on the plane.
The messy incident was captured by Reddit user Gig Wizard. I love that news stories now just refer to people by their online handles.
Yeah. It's like the worst superhero names ever.
Big Dick Super Bowl said on Thursday. Said they were on the 5-hour flight. Oh, so I was close with 3 hours in. On flight 422. I'm just going to let that hang. All right, that's a bad dog. It's shit on flight 422. That's not acceptable.
I'm okay with it.
No, you can't shit on 422. That's wrong. They're nice enough to cover the poop. But look at that. So this dog didn't just poop. He blew up.
It was a spray and pray. It's Taco Bell.
Poor puppy. Even though he shit on my flight, I feel bad for the dog.
Yeah, it's not the dog's fault. Dogs got to poop. They're gonna poop. But I mean, it sucks that he had like an incident, not just dropped a few poos.
Oh, bro, I see. That's why I took it off the screen. I scrolled down. That's fucking nasty.
Yeah,
that's not a normal color.
I think the dog had something unhealthy.
I think they ate from a street cart.
Or a gas station.
Yeah, it's Houston. They probably got some tacos off the street, and that dog that's not what you feed a dog. Nervous evacuation? I could be. Did the dog have diarrhea? Yes, he did. Yeah, very. Yeah. Poor pup.
I agree with the people later in the article said that the owner should be the one to clean that up. You should be responsible for your dogs, right? And cats, whatever else.
Should be. Stop bringing animals into human spaces like that. We're not talking about being in a park. You're on a fucking plane. Rent a car and drive your fucking dog home. Let him shit in their car.
Well, to be fair, people are savages now too. Like later in the article, it talks about in January, passengers noticed the guy pooped his pants and left feces spread out like peanut butter all over the seat.
Well, we just read an article about grocery stores closing down because people are shitting in the aisles. So,
yeah,
can't blame the dog too much, I suppose. But I do blame the people.
We're devolving.
Why are you putting the dog in that situation? And with that, Jack, we're going to wrap up. I was going to watch that one video. Let me see. Can I find it quickly? We're not going to watch it with the sound on because it's the guy who does the sports sounding overlays to videos.
Yeah.
But the kitty is just too freaking adorable, and we have to watch it as a nicety after we just talked about dogs shitting. This one was so. I told my wife tonight, like, the only good thing about the internet is kitty cat videos.
Yeah, that's definitely a highlight. I'm personally a fan of the other kitty cat videos, pornography.
I hear you, and I get it. I do, but I like my little four-legged friends. All right, so let me get the audio off of here. I don't know if you've seen this video, Jack, and I will put the full link in there so you guys can watch it. It is funny as hell because this guy's amazing. I love all of his work. But there's a little orange kitty cat here, and I don't know if this is the owner or who the hell she is. But kitty cat does not want to play with her. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'll take your face, bitch.
He fucks her up. I don't know what she did to that cat, but I'm on the cat's side.
It was likely deserved. And Steve Inman is hilarious. He does good commentaries.
He really does. So many of his videos we've laughed at over the years.
Yeah.
But I'll throw the link in the chat. Whoops, I just did the wrong thing there. I'll throw the link in the chat and you guys can watch the full thing yourself. But I just love that cat leaping at her face like that. Like, gotcha!
Fuck you, bitch!
Make me put my pimp hand down. Oh, kitty cats are awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. She challenged the cat. Don't do that. They will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Jack, anything you want to show?
No, I got nothing. Because Dad's in the hospital, it threw everything off, so I've got nothing done. And that's probably going to get worse. So thank you guys for the donations. It's always appreciated. It keeps the show going, and you guys are awesome.
And with that, I will be on twitch.tv playing something. I haven't decided what yet, but give me an hour or so, and I'll be over there playing a video game. Jack, a pleasure as always, man.
Always glad to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. We love you, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Don't let your dog eat shit in first class, especially on a plane where a woman loses her ass. Hey, I actually made it about the show tonight.